GoPro cameras used to be one of the hottest products on the market because of their ease of use and versatility. From simply vlogging to capturing underwater footage, GoPro cameras were one of the best options. But for a while now, GoPros have gone out of the spotlight, as in you rarely ever hear about them. And this is more than evident in their stock prices, which started in the 30s and 40s and skyrocketed for the first couple of years. But ever since mid-2015, they have been on a constant downward spiral, leaving their stock price today at just $2.72. Even ignoring the current market downfall, you can see that GoPro hasn't been doing well for a while now. So what happened to GoPro? Well, starting off, given their early success, GoPro started to overprice many of their cameras. After the release of the very popular Hero 4 cameras, GoPro decided to follow up the lineup with a mini Hero 4 session camera, which was outrageously priced at $400. The Hero 4 Session had worse specs than the Hero 4 Silver and Black. However, it was 50% smaller and 40% lighter, and they really tried to use this point to price the Session at the same $400 price point as the Silver. Clearly, consumers were already content with the size of the Hero 4 Silver and saw no reason to get the Hero 4 Session when it was the same price as the Silver. GoPro ended up cutting the price twice, first to $300 and then to $200. Moving on, scarred from this experience of low sales due to high pricing, GoPro tried to target more consumers by offering more for a cheaper price. But this too backfired, as this led to cannibalization of their higher end SKUs. In the same year as the Hero 4 Session, GoPro introduced 3 low to mid-range products, including the Hero, Hero Plus, and Hero Plus LCD. The Hero was quite comparable to the Hero 4 Silver and Black in terms of performance, but the price was much more favorable, starting at $130. As the Hero Plus and Hero Plus LCD played a similar role in the market, consumers just bought these products over their higher-end products. Furthermore, not only did this reduce their sales of the Hero 4 Silver and Black, but it also reduced pricing expectations from GoPro, forcing GoPro to settle at lower profit margins. As you can guess, these moves severely hurt GoPro, causing their stock to drop lower than their IPO of $24. As a result, GoPro thought that it was a swell idea to do a stock buyback. Companies buy back their stock whenever their stock is doing bad, or if they just want to inflate the stock value for any reason. They try to utilize simple supply and demand tactics to drive up the price. If there is less stock on the market, it would become more valuable to investors, is the thought. This may have worked if they actually followed through with their plan, but once again, they let this fall through. In late 2015, the company announced that they would buy back $300 million of stock, but they ended up only buying back 1.5 million shares, or $35.6 million worth. When GoPro themselves only ended up buying back a little more than 10% of their initial commitment, investor confidence further decreased, causing GoPro stock to quickly reach the single digits. Meanwhile, one of their biggest corporate investors, Foxconn, backed out. Foxconn, who is the largest manufacturer in the world, was an early investor in GoPro. In fact, they bought an 8.88% stock in the company before their IPO. But by late 2015, Foxconn disclosed that they had sold 30% of their shares. To make things worse, reports suggested that Terry Gou, the chairman of Foxconn, had lost faith in GoPro. Moving on, in 2016, GoPro tried to diversify its business by developing into the cloud backup space. In late 2016, GoPro launched a cloud backup platform alongside their Hero 5. But their late entry into market, along with the stronghold Google and Apple already had on the market, made it very tough for GoPro to gain any ground. In a final desperate attempt, GoPro tried to further diversify its business by jumping into trendy products including VR and drones. GoPro actually formed a partnership with YouTube to jumpstart their entry into the market with the GoPro Odyssey, which was a $15,000 16-camera device. But very quickly, Google realized that such prices would not be very appealing to the mainstream, and though they didn't cut their partnership with the GoPro, they started to make partnerships with other camera manufacturers as well, like Yi Technology. As for the drone market, there were already many key players in the market, specifically DJI Innovations, who dominated the high-end market. In fact, you can often find their drones showcased in Apple stores, so they had very reputable brand backing them. To make things worse, the GoPro Karma, their new drone, had an embarrassing recall soon after the release of their product. So you can see this venture didn't quite pan out either. On top of all of this, GoPro's focus on these outside businesses led to a further downfall in their main business. Many of their newer products look like copies of products that were already on the market. For instance, the Hero 4 Session looked a lot like the Polaroid Cube, and the 360-degree Fusion closely resembled Samsung's Gear 360. But aside from all of these, the truth is that GoPro had a core problem that they couldn't solve. GoPro's main repeating customer base was sport and adventure enthusiasts. But the thing was, these customers didn't represent most of the revenue in the early days. The main reason GoPro blew up was because of the average person's intrigue in getting a GoPro. This is what led to explosions in their revenue numbers. But once these people had gotten a GoPro, their curiosity was satisfied, and the loss of this revenue is what I really think hurt GoPro. Sure, they made plenty of mistakes, but I don't think they really could have done much to save this waning demographic, and that's what happened to GoPro. If you guys thought this video explained the downfall of GoPro well, then make sure to drop a like. Also, make sure to subscribe if you'd like to see more questions just like this one logically answered. But until then, I'm Hari, and I'll see you guys on the next one.